Hello, welcome. It's time. Welcome. It's time for today's summoning. Let me get my stuff organized. Where is it? So I am in Washington, D.C., and it is cold today, below freezing. I'm waiting to get my vehicle parked at Arlington National Cemetery. They have outdoor parking for RVs, so I like to park here. Yeah. So, anyways, welcome. I am coming to you live from Washington, D.C., and as I'm coming to you as my artist self, so I'm mod in art right now. Thanks for stopping by. Today's today's summoning of peace. Summoning peace is about, or it's called Count My Vote. Democrats, Republicans did not count U.S. citizen votes. 9 a.m. D.C. time. So that's what time it is. And I want my votes counted. The Democrats and Republicans are violating my rights, my citizen rights as a U.S. citizen, and not only mine but yours. And as you know, I already talked a great deal in the previous summoning of peace. I talked a great deal about how they violated my rights as a voter and also as a candidate. So now I'm going to let you listen in on the lawsuit that I have pending with the Supreme Court. So I'm summoning the Supreme Court. The other part of the ad that I placed on various social media. Democrats and Republicans, provisional ballots need to be counted too. All U.S. citizen votes need to be counted. So today is Inauguration Day, and I don't understand how the Democrats and Republicans can be going forward with inauguration when they know they have not counted U.S. citizen votes. So this is shocking to me. I've told the FBI, the CIA, I've told the Supreme Court, and, I've told you, I've told everybody that I can, and yet we're still going forward. So it's treason that they're not counting and manipulating your and my vote like this. It's not acceptable. And anyway, I have a lawsuit pending, and you're going to be hearing it, and I'm going to play some music in the background. What I also wrote on the little ad that I put out was, find out about the treason and what I'm doing about it. This is unacceptable. Democrats and Republicans, shame on you. Election fraud, message approved. By Modern Art. Yes. So this is that. So here, let me show you the ad. Sorry, that's my left hand. I'm having a little bit of trouble today. I don't know. I sat funny, and now my back is also hurting. But I'm gonna survive. And I think it's backwards for you, anyways. And then I'll show you my little symbol. Oh, maybe. Can you see it? It's kind of bright too. Okay, there you go. right, so let me find my reading now. I guess I should say happy Martin Luther King Day, and I hope that we can really have a happy Martin Luther King Day. I have a welcome here. I'm using for my lawsuit the Supreme Court Rule number 22, application to an individual justice. It is, and then the question I pose is it constitutional to force U.S. citizens to register to vote so that their vote gets counted? And I say it's not constitutional. I think that the process of voting or registering to vote has to go. And you'll find out when I read the lawsuit to you all about that. Thank you for stopping by. Dream big, everybody. It's also Civil Rights Day, too. Trying to bring back integrity to our country. So there we go. Okay. Hi. Welcome. I'm going to read to you my lawsuit that I have pending with the Supreme Court in its entirety as much as I can. I don't have with me all the various letters that went along with it to each individual justice, but this is the beginning. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy your citizen rights. First is a notary statement. I, Susan Maud Buchser, do state that, to the best of my knowledge, I have fulfilled the word requirement and stayed within the limits requested by the court. In the entirety of the petition, I have used 1,629 words in entirety including this document. Thus I swear. And that was February 27th, 2024, last year. Susan Maud Buchser, pro se petitioner. So then, that's the first page. Then the cover says, Attention Chief Justice of the United States of America's Supreme Court, Justice John G. Roberts, Jr. Application to individual justice. That's what I'm doing. So I sent it first to him, and then it came back to me and said that if I was interested, I should send it to all the justices. So that's what I did. Case is United States of America Supreme Court. Attention, Chief Justice John G. Roberts, Jr. I don't have a case number, and I don't have other number or information yet. Application to an individual justice listed above, Rule 22. So I was following Rule 22 of the Supreme Court of the United States. Pro se petitioner, Susan Maud Buchser, and my address, and then respondents is all 50 states and territories of the United States of America. Office of the Solicitor General. So when you're doing like all the states, you send it there, and then they send it out to everybody. Executed within the United States, its territories, possessions, or Commonwealth. I declare under penalty of perjury that the foregoing is true and correct. And that was on February 27th, 2024. I was just done looking at the border in Texas, or I had seen like half of it, and I pulled up at a rest stop, which was quite nice in Texas, and I hung out there for a couple of days and wrote this. Susan Maud Buchser, pro se petitioner. Then that was one page, and then the real start for me is question presented. The first question is it constitutional to force U.S. citizens to register to vote so that their vote gets counted? Now I'm going to repeat that. Is it constitutional to force U.S. citizens to register to vote to have their vote counted? So the exact wording is, so that their vote gets counted. Then the people involved, the list of parties on the next page is pro se petitioner Susan Maud Buchser versus all 50 states of the United States of America and territories respondents. Then the next page is a table of contents. So I have the statutes and the rules. On page 1, jurisdiction. Page 2, constitutional and statutory provisions involved. Page 3, statement of the case. Page 4, relief. Page 5, reasons for granting the petition. Page 6, conclusion. Page 7. And my relief, I wish I could change it a little. I forgot to, I think, ask for an apology, but I'll get there. So I'm having a little bit of, I think I was sitting twisted too long and the cold air was hitting my back, and so I've got some lower back pain. So I'm going to sit sideways. Statute. Page 3 is constitutional and statutory provisions involved. So the 14th Amendment, Section 1. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, or citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law, nor deny any person within its my phone is sensitive, so I jumped away from the page. Nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. This is page 3. I'm going to reread the 14th Amendment, just this section again. 14th Amendment, Section 1. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Page 3. That was page 3. Then York or from abroad as a U.S. citizen without registering to vote if you want your vote counted. It's my understanding that it's not just these 3 locations that I mentioned above where this is a forced obstacle to a U.S. citizen making their vote. But apparently all 50 states have some sort of obstacle that prevents their citizens from placing their votes. In fact, almost every state has the forced registering to vote in place. The only state without it is North Dakota. They have recently made some restrictions that also cause votes to go uncounted. This is unacceptable and a violation of my and your constitutional rights to vote. The 2 parties claim, the Republicans and Democrats, because that's who's been in charge of the election process in every state and territory for the last 100 years, they claim that we need that list to know who is voting in their state, in their county. But that's exactly in the voter registration list where the fraud is. Misspellings, wrong addresses, and people put on the list and then never taken off the list. Then there are no checks and balances on the register to vote list. That is where we are discovering fraud in our voting system. I say the Social Security and the IRS have a list of every U.S. citizen, one per person, permanent residential address for tax purposes and benefits. Every county already has that list, that address information. There's no need to create a separate list easily manipulated by 2 big political parties. Sorry, my phone jumped ahead. Okay. And there's no need to force U.S. citizens to put their name on a second list when the county already has it. Every citizen should only be allowed to vote where their permanent residential address is, period, anyways. Registering to vote is an extra step, an obstacle, when all we need to do is walk in the door of the town hall and prove who we are to vote. Every town should know who is living in their county because of taxes and Social Security and other benefits. There's no excuse for making us do anything else. Then it's within the list of registered voters where the fraud is. They don't take people's names off the list. They misspell names or use other addresses, misspell addresses. They have college students, traveling people, and even foreigners can slip into the registering list, and then they get a vote, and sometimes they even vote in several states and towns. Fraud is unacceptable. This in this corrupt system. My very own Secretary of State here in West Virginia declared in the last election in 2020 over 380,000 names on the registry of West Virginia voters were fraudulent. And that's just in West Virginia. What's it like in New York and California? More recently, Donald Trump discovered in Georgia that there were more votes over the population in some districts during the 2020 election. We have a problem. The states have found a way to manipulate and disenfranchise voters once again. We for a new election, a team needs to be set up to organize a constitutional way of voting. We need to abolish the act of registering to vote and take the Social Security and IRS list of addresses of permanent residents of all U.S. citizens. It's also a good way to do checks and balances on that list to ensure that the people who are getting those benefits or paying their bills
Summoning peace.
taxes
Supreme
are
Court.
the actual people. Everyone should be encouraged to update their address or check on it, so a special team needs to be on hand to do that at the Social Security Department, and a special hotline at the Social Security Department.
Enough already.
Next, we need to set up a new election, a constitutional way to vote, where every U.S. citizen's hand-delivered a voting ballot in an envelope with information package on what they have to vote on and who they have to vote for. I've had 15 years experience voting in a very constitutional way in Switzerland, and I'm not the only one. There are many of us who have voted in a constitutional way in other countries. It's time to gather our information together and organize a new constitutional election system here in the United States. All choices need to be provided to the public. We cannot vote properly if we are not given all of our information, and that's another issue in the states where I've lived and living abroad. I was never presented with all the information that I had to vote on. Our U.S. citizens are well informed now. We don't need to shelter them anymore. They can speak for themselves and they can vote for themselves. The position of Secretary of State, head of the elections in each state, has only ever been held by someone in one of the two big parties, either Democrat or Republican, and they're working together to keep control. Due
Peace.
to the fact that this practice
Justice.
has been in place for a long time, used by the Democrats and Republicans, manipulating the system and control who is in office all over the United States of America. I believe they should pay the cost of the new election and of $5,000
Apology.
in damages from their acts to each and every voting age citizen. So let me reread that. Due to the fact that this practice has been in place for a long time and used by the Democrats and the Republicans, manipulate the system and control who is in office all over the United States. So they've been doing this for a long time all over the U.S. I believe that they should pay for the new election and pay $5,000. Wait, I lost my place. $5,000 in damages
And apology.
from their actions, because they stole our votes, to each and every voting age citizen, so you and me. And this is where I also should have put in that they need to apologize. They need to make an official apology for their stealing our vote for over 100 years. I mean, this is not new, folks. This has been going on a long time. So that was page 5. Then the reasons for granting the petition. This petition of emergency should be granted. Myself and all other voting age U.S. citizens have had our constitutional civil rights violated for years and decades. We currently have illegal and fraudulent fraudulent people in office pretending to be legally voted in, and that includes everyone in Congress, the President, the Vice President of the United States, and of course, all elected officials in the states and counties. We need to have
My
a new
vote
election
needs to
that
be
is legal
counted.
and constitutional without corruption.
And so does yours.
It's my right as a U.S. citizen, and also yours too, to have our votes counted
Summoning peace.
and not manipulated. Since every state knows... Sorry, I lost my place.
Provisional ballots need to be counted too. All U.S. citizen votes need to be counted.
Knows about this issue. I sent emails to them all.
Count my vote.
I started 2 years ago
Democrats and
about this
Republicans
issue
did not count
in
U.S.
my
votes.
federal district court here in
Shame on them.
the northern part of West Virginia, and they're still continuing to proceed.
All U.S. citizen votes need to be counted.
Still continuing the process of forcing U.S. citizens to register to vote. They are all traitors to our country. We cannot have them in charge. They all need to step down. They all need to step down.
Shame on them.
Page 6. Conclusion.
Count my vote.
I have had to turn
I'm a
to
U.S.
the
citizen.
Supreme Court,
I had my
especially
passport.
Chief Justice of the United States.
I had my
of
driver's
America's Supreme
license.
Court,
You didn't care.
Justice John G.
You just
Roberts Jr.
let me vote to throw
about
it out.
this issue because
Shame on
I
you,
don't believe
West Virginia.
that my local West Virginia federal court feels that they have the right to make a ruling on this.
Shame on you,
And
Secretary of State.
they, I think, are
Shame
in
on you,
agreement
Election
with me,
Division.
but would like you, the Supreme Court,
Shame
to
on
make
you,
the final
Democrats and
ruling.
Republicans.
This petition of emergency should be
All
granted.
U.S. citizen votes need to be counted.
Respectfully submitted,
Supreme Court,
Susan Maud Buchser.
I call on
It
you.
is
Do your job.
February 27th, 2024. And that's page 7. That's the last page. And see, what I forgot to say was
Summoning
the
peace.
Democrats and Republicans need to apologize. They need to pay for it all because they have been stealing our votes for at least 100 years. I mean, it could be longer, but it's just
Shocking.
a
Unacceptable.
violation of our rights.
A violation.
So there you have it. That was my lawsuit. You have to follow the rules that they have, and they have like a booklet. You can find it online
It's hard to
and
find
make
peace
your own
right now
petition.
in the USA.
I think it's going to work. I'm still waiting. I know there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that you and I don't know about. So I'm trying to give the Supreme Court the benefit of the doubt. That they're sitting on it and not doing anything. I'll give them like another week, and then I'll start again if nothing happens. But that is my lawsuit that's pending. I use the rule from their book, rule number 22. It's for emergency petitioning, and I think it's a good one. Especially doing it pro se, you do it yourself. It's eventually I gave them, I think, like $300 or $400, and then of course there's the post going back and forth and stuff. So it can add up, but I've been hand delivering it mostly, and with a little bit of mailing, and I don't think I spent more than $1,000. So that's how it goes. All right, so thank you for listening. Let's see what happens.
Justice.
Today is Civil Rights Day, too. It's Martin Luther King Day. So I'm wishing us all to dream big.
Peace.
We can move mountains like
Justice.
Martin did. And it's Civil Rights Day. It's time to also, push forward with our own rights. For ourselves and for others. So anyways, thank you for stopping by. I'm going to post this and also going to be presented in an artwork later.
Justice. This is the artwork later. Thank you. Thank you for your report. So, folks, as you hear, we have problems. We need justice.
When I started drinking warm water to help me lose weight, my friends laughed at me. But when they saw how fast I was changing, they started talking.
Alright, so that is the end of today's summoning. I also posted the report elsewhere on the internet, so if you want to hear my lawsuit without the summoning around it, you can go to my Susan Buchser-Lochocki, Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki page and hear it.
Modern Art 2025. Summoning Peace.
Yep. Count my vote.